Oh, hey everyone. So I guess I'll make another video now. This is my first film review, and in this, I guess, episode, let's just call it that, I'm gonna review a film that I watched about a year ago, and it definitely had a big impact on me. Well, a negative impact, but big nonetheless. You know, I mostly watched it because I knew that Josh Peck was going to be in it. And I liked Drake and Josh. I wanted to see how this character would be different from what we usually see on Disney or Nick. So I just wanted to see if it would be a good film or not. Would how it would affect me. And I got to say that I honestly didn't like it. The premise of it is actually I mean, if you really think about it, it's really, really stupid and shallow. I mean, okay, first off, the main plot is uh, Rory Culkin's character Sam is attacked by the bully George, played by Josh Peck. Because he was looking at his camera or something, and he just attacked him. Because he's troubled, obviously. And after that, he tells his older brother, I think his name was Rocky. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's Rocky, I think it is. And he tells him about it, and then Rocky tells all his friends, and they devise a plan to lure him on a big boating trip and humiliate him. And that's basically what they do. They tell him that Sam's having a birthday party, and they invite him on a boating trip out. And honestly, I mean, he's obviously a really stupid character, but I honestly find it hard to believe that he would actually go with them, especially after what happened with Sam. We must have suspected something at least. Well, anyway, moving on. So they get him out on the trip, and they talk and do all sorts of things, and they find out that he's actually kind of shy and lonely, obviously, like most bullies are. And he still has that anger though, and he occasionally I guess flips out at people you know, uh, Clyde, who we used to hit when he was he's about the same age as Clyde, and he attacked him once when he was younger, and he mentions that and brings it up. So anyway, the story moves on. They eventually get on the boat, and they're on the thing, and they eventually play a game of Truth or Dare, where they eventually George sprays Scott Mechlowicz character. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I think that's how you spell it. He was in Euro Trip. He sprays him with a super soaker, and he's they're laughing at first, and then he mentions his father, and then he gets the Scott character. He becomes really angry and threatens to kill him if he says anything again about his father, and then eventually he tells George the truth about why they brought him out there. And of course George gets pissed and he starts lashing out at all the characters on the boat. He calls Clyde a faggot, because he had two gay fathers, so obviously makes him a faggot too, obviously. I mean a gay person. Sorry about that. Yeah, and after that, he calls Millie a Jap cunt. I mean what? It's really stupid dialogue too, I'm telling you. I mean, supposed to be all dramatic and stuff, but it obviously comes across as unintentionally funny at times. I mean, there's obviously dramatic scenes too, but sometimes it's really kind of just bizarre. And eventually, Rocky gets has enough and knocks him off the boat with and he just punches him off the boat and he gets into the water and he starts to drown, because he can't swim. And then everyone gets mad at him, doesn't try to help him, and he goes down and he dies. And they bring him out of the water, but they can't bring him back. But he's pretty much gone by then. So they just realize that they murdered someone, although it was accidental. And the basic plot is how they eventually fess up to it, and I think the Scott character. Sorry, I can't remember his name in the movie. I'm sorry. He steals money and he attempts to run away. He becomes a what do they call those people? Running from the law, essentially, and that's basically what happens to him. But you didn't really find out what happens after that. Basically George is dead and his mother's upset, and the end video, basically shows him making a video talking about how, he's all messed up and his mind has like a million things going on and stuff, and it's basically end of the film. It was a very short independent film, wasn't like a big budget or anything like that. It's just very like down home country, like just American kind of film, I guess. I've met people like George before and other characters like that. It's very realistic. That's one thing that's kind of, I guess, a bit, like, well, I'm not thinking it's realistic for the dialogue, but the characters, there's a lot of kids like that in America that I've met, in school and, or in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So basically, I mean, I feel that, like, it's very, like, stupid premise. If they actually had succeeded in, like, throwing him off the boat and making him run home naked, would that have made things any better? I honestly think they would. I think they would have made things worse, if anything, for, Rory and, or the Sam character, and, pretty much the rest of them, too, I don't think that anything would have been better or improved. Probably would have beat him up even worse, for no reason, after that and all that stuff. It's really stupid. What they should have done, essentially, would have banded together and threatened to kick his ass if he tried to hurt Rory again, or Sam. That would have been a lot better, because they're obviously a lot big, they're all of them are like, George's size, they're not like defenseless kids, they should have band together and stood up for Sam, honestly. Would have been a lot better premise, but instead they devised a little boating humiliation thing, and it went wrong, obviously. Well, it didn't, obviously, but, it went wrong, and that's the consequences, That's just my opinion, though. If you disagree, that's fine. That's how I felt about it, there were some scenes that were, okay, I guess, they were kind of like really dramatic and all that, but obviously I thought it was a dumb, stupid premise, stupid dialogue, and I don't really know why it was even made, to be honest, I've seen a lot of other films that were much more emotionally appealing and all that, and it didn't really do much for me, so I could give it like a 2 out of 5 stars, I suppose. And it had a few, the cinematography was pretty good, I like the whole setting. It was a very beautiful river, the colors were vibrant and all that, it had a few funny scenes here and there, so, yeah, it's not a complete waste of time, but it could have been a lot better. So, that's about it. Thanks for listening.